Hello friends, it's been quite a long time since I last posted a video here on YouTube, but I'm ready to get back into the swing of things. I visited the thrift store the other day, and as I walked in, I saw this dresser from across the store and basically ran over there as fast as I could to secure it. It was priced at $45, which is honestly a steal compared to the usual furniture prices here, so I immediately bought it. One major update since I last posted on YouTube is that my family got chickens, and weirdly enough, one of them loves to be near me while I'm working. Wednesday's super curious about every aspect of furniture flipping apparently, so you'll probably see her more in future videos. As I was removing the hardware and inspecting the dresser further, I started to realize that this dresser is probably handmade. There are no maker's marks, and all the screws vary slightly. I could be totally wrong, but it's just my guess. At this point, I really had no idea what I was going to do with this dresser. The original finish was ridiculously dark and thick, so I wasn't sure how pretty the wood grain would be, or really just the overall condition of the wood. All I knew was that this original finish needed to come off so I could see it raw wood and go from there. I'm using my Surf Prep orbital sander with 120 grit sandpaper to strip this down. I started using the sander a couple months ago, and it has cut down my sanding time by so much. It's not a cheap item, and it's definitely an investment piece, but it's completely worth it for those who sand a lot. You'll also see me using my 3x4 sander for the harder to reach areas. Sanding has become kind of relaxing to me after getting these sanders. If I'm being completely honest, at this point I wasn't super impressed with the wood grain on this dresser. Now, I'm no expert by any means when it comes to identifying wood species, but I believe this is pine, which isn't the highest quality of wood you can get. I'm usually all for doing a light stain on these types of dressers because I feel like it makes the wood grain stand out more, but because this wood grain isn't as prominent as I was hoping for, I decided to stain it dark. I absolutely love Varathane gel stains, so I swatched two of them that I had on hand. I want this dresser to look like it's an antique, which I guess it very well could be. I actually don't know when this dresser was made, but I feel like all antique pieces have a very similar reddish brownish stain color to them. I'm swatching both Mahogany and Kona gel stains, and even though I usually use Kona in literally all of my projects, the Mahogany stain was the exact color I was wanting. But before I could get to staining, I needed to figure out how to get the hardware stripped, so I tried using this spray stripper, but it ended up not doing anything. So I let them dry, and then I gave them a good sand with my 3x4. I had only sanded the dresser with 120 grit at this point, so I worked my way up to 180 grit to make sure my surfaces were super smooth. Then I used a tack cloth to remove any remaining dust or dirt. I'll make sure to link all the products used in this video in the caption for you. And now it's finally time to stain. What's funny is that I used to be so intimidated by staining when I first started flipping furniture. I tried it maybe once or twice, and I made so many mistakes, which led to only doing paint washes for over a year. I only recently started forcing myself to face my fear, which sounds kind of ridiculous, and learn how to properly stain. I feel like gel stains are so much easier to use than your typical penetrative stain because you have a lot more time to work with it. And using old socks instead of a rag makes it 10 times easier too. When I tell you my jaw hit the floor after seeing the wood grain literally pop out once the stain was applied, I was in complete shock. There's just no way a paint wash could have gotten the same result. This is the top coat I'm going to be using. It's a furniture Salve from Uppaint. I really like using wax for top coats when the piece of furniture doesn't have like a high traffic area, like a tabletop for example. I've used this on several projects and I still have a ton left. It smells super good. This is not sponsored, but I just love this stuff. So I'm gonna apply it with an old sock like I did everything else. So I'm just taking it and rubbing it in pretty hard to the piece of furniture. Really get it in there. And I'll just wipe this all over. Now let's take one last look at the before of this dresser. Remember that old, almost opaque stain? And here she is now. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.